Canard truly is a restaurant you can go and you can have the experience that you want there. You can go and have a really nice, beautifully potted like duck liver and a really like well-executed French pastry for dessert, or you can have as many cheeseburgers, fries, and chicken wings as your heart desire. That combo of high-low, that's in all of my cooking. Most of my inspiration is like just cooking from the gut, but also just like kind of like a kid Americana food within like luxury ingredients. I didn't mean to start cooking. I meant to go to junior college and smoke weed and skate by doing normal classes. But the normal classes appeared to be more than I was bargaining for. So I kind of pointed my finger at cooking because I thought that would be the easiest way to continue going to raves and smoking weed. And kind of fell in love with it. I left after a year because I just wanted to start working in kitchens. And I think that is, as I've grown as a chef, what defines a craveable dish is something that I will never fully understand, because to say that you fully understand it is a lie. But it's something that I've gained more understanding of, and it's something that when I sit around at any of my restaurants and we taste a dish, craveability is something that we talk about because that's what you want. You always want to be looking forward to your next bite. You never want to like be halfway through a dish and feel like, that's perfect, you know? On Fridays, I would make a kind of a nicer staff meal for everyone. It's Friday, everyone is going into the weekend. Well, I just got a wild hair up my ass and I said, I'm gonna make White Castle. I think that what it was is I saw a thing of King's Hawaiian rolls in the store and I was like, those look like they'd be fun sliders. I should imitate White Castle. So I did a lot of research on the internet, which means I Googled two things, homemade White Castle burgers twice. The thing that resonated was a Midwest mom had a recipe that I clicked on, and she mixes French onion soup mix in the beef, and I happen to have some on my shelf because that's a secret ingredient that we use sometimes. And I did that, and then baked the beef off and layered it with American cheese and pickle relish and mustard and the King's buns, and then put them in the steamer and we ate them, and it was just like one of those things we all looked around the table and we're like, people will come for these. But then I was hooked, and we kind of all were just like pipe dreaming around the table having lunch that this would be a great restaurant with a bunch of shucked oysters and nice champagne and these like really craveable slutty cheeseburgers. And then I kind of told Andy, my business partner, if we can sell cheeseburgers, oysters, and champagne, I'm in. We had really high aspirations, and I just thought, how can we incorporate like duck on duck on duck on duck? And we have this flat top griddle in front of us, and what better to cook on a flat top griddle than pancakes? And then my mind kind of went to like biscuits and gravy, but instead of biscuits, because I didn't want to get into like the rolling up biscuits and baking every day, the pancakes are right, easy to make. And then, so we cooked the pancakes in duck fat, and then a duck sausage gravy, and then a duck egg over easy. And we already had some smoked maple syrup around too. I think I'm most known for foie gras, so you can add seared foie gras on top. I've always been like repulsed by the idea of owning more and more restaurants, even though I have 3. At Le Pigeon, signature dish, foie gras profiterole. And I thought, if you're gonna have a restaurant next door, why not do something that uses that same dough that's done in a different way, that feels completely different. I love that interplay where the Paris Brest uses the same dough and it's piped in concentric circles to make a bicycle wheel. It's a dessert that's named after a bicycle race from Paris to Brest. So the dough, it's kind of like the working man's dough of like French pastries, the pot au choux. We put fruit in it, which is very different. Normally it's just like a hazelnut praline buttercream. The first one we opened up with was a toasted coconut pastry cream with strawberries, and now we're on to our PB&J, which is an almond butter pastry cream with vanilla roasted grapes, grape jelly syrup, toasted almonds, and peanut butter powder. I definitely take French food and don't do what French people do to it. I was never classically trained. I think I told you that I've been the chef for a third of my life, which means I've been telling myself how to cook for a third of my life. And if I'm smart, I hire people that can teach me how to do things differently, see things differently, because that's what I need to always be moving forward and getting better. I can't just stand behind this stove and think that I'm gonna be relevant by just doing the same things, I think that Canard feels different than a lot of places. We just set out to create something that was craveable and delicious. You can have like messy steamed cheeseburgers next to like refined like foie gras dumplings. That's the point of the restaurant.